Please.
Hey, bosses. Welcome to another episode of Boss Please. I'm Megan. I'm here with Jill and Malynda. Hey, ladies.
Hello. Hi, you're so happy.
I know. I don't know what's going on. I just got a boost of perk, I guess.
I love it.
And you know what? The coffee's kicking in. The coffee from Coffee Bean is kicking in. Not sponsored, but
maybe.
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 Coffee Bean, are you listening?
All right, ladies. How are we a boss this week?
Well, I am going on a trip, and I always overpack. It's my just perpetual issue, but in this case, I can only bring a carry-on bag, and I'm only going away for like 3 nights, 4 days, so I don't need to bring that much, and I'm going to a tropical location, so I'm going to be in a bathing suit pretty much the entire day. But, like, I just am an overpacker. So I found my carry-on today, and I don't leave for another 5 days, but I have all the outfits picked out. I tried them all on. I was
Not
gonna
surprised.
take pictures on my
I love
phone
it.
too. Like, this is what I'm gonna wear, down to like the earrings and the shoes and everything. Because I'm obsessive. You guys both know I am. But it's like a good thing because now when I have work during the week, I don't have to stress about what I need to get for the trip. Like all the little things, the medications, the this, the that, it's all done. And I just feel so relieved, and I feel like such a boss that now I can concentrate on things like the job that I actually get paid for, this podcast. You know, I won't have any distractions this week as I'm wrapping up work.
That's fantastic.
Do you do space saver bags?
I would normally, but in this case, because I'm trying to pack so light, I'm like, my things are so small. I mean, like, my shorts are tiny, my bathing suit's tiny. Like, nothing is, like, too bulky. So, but I did get shoe bags, which I'm obsessed with. I hate dirty shoes in luggage.
Yeah.
It's, like, a big pet
Oh,
peeve.
yeah.
So, normally what I do is I save old shower caps from when I stay at different hotels, and I put the shoes in the shower cap. But this time, I was like, you know what? Let's upgrade. Went on Amazon, and I found these really cute canvas shoe bags that are washable because I just figured it's more eco-friendly. So super excited about that. Like, really, like, this 29-year-old is very excited about a shoe bag.
This
As
is
you can
this is
see,
where you are in life.
There's
It's
so
okay.
much going on in my life,
It's
you know.
okay.
Yeah, Malynda, how are you, boss?
How was I a boss? I usually do my own website, but I actually hired somebody else to do it this time. I hate it. I don't hate the website. I hate that I don't know what they're doing.
I was
until
like,
it's
girl,
done.
you better not say their name.
No. I'm sure they're going to do an amazing job, but it's like I'm so used to doing everything on my own. You guys know that I struggle with this. This is what I talk about.
Yeah.
So hired someone to do my website, so I know it's going to be amazing, but I'm just so used to doing it on my own. So we'll see.
Websites are hard to do on your own.
They are.
I've tried. I'm not a good designer.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Well, like Wix makes it easy.
I've been, even still with Wix, I'm like, Megan, get it together.
Hashtag non-spawn, but also spawn.
Yes, we love Wix. Wix is great.
Wix.
Yeah, so tonight I like have so much stuff I still have to do. I have like a side hustle. I got to write an article, and and I'm trying to maintain a social life, but like I haven't seen one of my other best friends in a while. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to do dinner. So even though I'm stressing because I have an audition tomorrow too, and I want to prepare, I'm a boss because friends come first. Or friends are important.
So you're making a priority tonight.
Yes,
I'm making
I
a
love
priority
that. Good for
tonight,
you.
yes.
Good for you.
I love that.
Oh wait, it's me. I'm doing this. Okay,
Yeah, so it's a real talk today, Megan.
Yeah, Jill already got it up. Okay, so because we have a psychic on later in the show, and I'm super excited about it, I want to like keep on that and talk about the secret. Do we believe in the secret? Do we believe in what we put out into the universe? And if it's good and positive vibes, it will come back to us. The power of manifesting. I'm a huge believer. But what do you guys think about it?
I don't know. I there's some truth to it, but I'm talking about Chris Rock again. He said in his stand-up that people always talk about karma and like bad things, like people always get what they want, it's like, or get like you know what I'm saying?
Get what they deserve, yeah.
Get what they deserve. That's not true. Not all the time, because I know some pretty evil people that are very successful. You know what I mean?
Maybe they'll get it in the afterlife.
I hope so. I hope so, because I get mad sometimes when I'm like, how did that person get them? They're awful,
But you don't know
do
what's
think,
happening later. Like, you don't
true,
know what's going to...
True. I do think, though, the better person you are, you do get blessings turned back to you. Full circle. I do.
I've talked about this before, but like there are some people that really shelter their ideas and hold them really close, and they're so scared to tell people what they want out of life because they're afraid of them giving an opposite opinion of what they believe or them stealing their idea or anything. And I just believe that if you want something, you must. It is your duty to put it out there because nobody knows what you want to do except for you, and how are you going to move forward in that way?
Right.
The only way to propel yourself is to connect with other people on what you love and what you want to accomplish, and it's just, you should tell people what you want to do. And I get that some people are very scared and they feel like, you know, they're limited in their thought and their ideas, but if you kind of just like expand your mind and say like, okay, I can say this, and I trust this idea that's going out there, and hopefully whatever I push out there bounces back.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened to me a bunch of times. You just like, anytime I meet somebody new, not that I have like a fake pitch that I give people, but if somebody says like, what do you want to do? I tell them what I want to do,
right.
because they might know somebody.
Yeah.
And we talk about, especially in LA, we've talked about the connections here and you know, networking and things like that, but it's just really important because nobody's a mind reader.
Right.
And if the universe knows, all the better. I say, like, what is it gonna, it's not going to hurt you to, like, let the universe know that, like, I want this job or I want this raise. And it's really, you have to say it in the power of your words.
Yes.
So it's not I want, it's I have.
I have.
I have this money. You know, I don't need it. I have it. And that's like in every sense. And I feel like, too, it kind of pushes you. You know, you saying that you have these things, like, it shouldn't make you feel entitled. It should make you feel like you have these things, like, inside of you. And it's just going to come out. I don't know. I sound like corny as hell, but
no,
whatever.
you don't.
No,
you
don't.
have
You're
to
speaking
speak
truth.
it. You have to speak it into existence. It is so important. And, you know, I remember it was weird. I remember discovering The Secret. I mean, I feel The Secret can sometimes be flawed, but I remember someone gave it to me and I didn't it was a DVD and I didn't watch it. And then one night, a friend of mine was over and was like, oh, what's this? And popped it in and we watched it. And I just feel like it came into my life at the moment it should have. And it was so weird. Wow. And then I remember before it got big, I was here in LA doing the LA program. And then another friend of mine was like, have you guys ever heard of The Secret? And I literally opened my like old school 80s like DVD like accordion thing that opened. And I was like, I have it right here. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what The Secret is all about. It was like so crazy. But I think that the challenge is you can speak things into existence all day. You can manifest, you can be positive all day. However, the biggest challenge is almost batting away the negative that you deal with all day. Because you can be positive and manifest all day long, but you don't have control over what you're hearing all day long. So you also have to be cognizant of that to almost remove it and push it back, if that makes sense. Bounce it back the other way. That way it's not conflicting with the road you have ahead. That's my biggest struggle, not letting the influence come in.
Yeah.
I was like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
No, it totally
absolutely.
does.
Okay, so speaking of this, I'm so excited because we have Mary, a psychic medium. She's going to be calling in here in just a few minutes when we get back from the break. And you guys, I've had a couple readings with her and she has changed my life. And I'm so excited for you all to experience her and for Joe and Malynda to experience it firsthand. So we'll be right back. All right, bosses, welcome back. We are so excited to have Mary DAlba on with us. She is a metaphysical practitioner and teacher. Her mission is to empower others and help her clients live their best life. Mary is a registered, certified clinical hypnotherapist, Reiki master, psychic, and medium, certified tarot professional, and that just scratches the surface. Mary, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well. How is everyone?
We are
Good.
fantastic.
Thanks
We're
for
so
coming
excited.
on the show.
The questions galore that we have for you. So Mary, like, you're a friend of mine, and obviously I've had many readings with you. But how did you first realize that you actually had psychic ability?
Well, it's funny because, you know, people talk about when they're kids, they have imaginary friends, and I realized my friends weren't exactly imaginary. They were spirits. And my mother, when I was 15, took me up to Salem, Massachusetts. And if you haven't been, it's a beautiful place, especially to come to in the fall. And it's the mecca of occult and witchcraft and witches. And she took me up there and she said, I want to buy you a deck of tarot cards because this will be a fad. You know, all the kids go through it and I'll buy that for you. And my mother, the practicing Catholic who did that, didn't realize that, you know, 30 plus years later, I would still be reading cards and talking to dead people. So I say that she's responsible. She shakes her head when I say that, but yeah. And that's what opened the doors for me, really.
Was she kind of petrified when you said that you would see, like, you would talk about your imaginary friends, and then, you know, would you creep her out ever? Like,
not really. My mom would always say, "Oh, you know, there's always people watching over us." I think she tried to make it as normal as possible because it is normal. I mean, we have people watching over us, but she, you know, some of the things that I can pick up on with her, and she can pick up on with me. You know, it's hereditary also.
oh wow.
That's a little creepy.
That's crazy. I really want to know what your first psychic experience was like.
Mine was actually when I started pulling the cards, I would read for friends, and they would say to me, "Oh, that's not going to happen. That's not true." But I would hit on things with them, and then things would start to happen. And you know, one of the ones that I think about is I was reading somebody in college, and I was like, you know, I don't like to predict bad things, but I was like, I don't know, I see something happening with your car. I see, you know, this is before I really knew what to say to people, what not to say to people. And I was like, I see something happening with your car. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And a couple of days later, he drove a cab and he got into an accident.
Oh my gosh.
Was he okay?
He was fine. Yeah, he was fine. He came in, you know, came back in and was like, listen, you're a weirdo. I don't want you to ever read for me again.
Oh my gosh. Mary, you better tell me the truth, though, in anything.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
I know you do. I do actually have to say, for like, I mean, obviously people out there might be listening and be skeptical, but what I do have to vouch for with Mary is she actually predicted this podcast. When I had a reading with her a couple years ago, and she was like, I see you like doing, you said you were like radio, something of the sort. And I was like, Mary, like, no, I want to be on camera, duh. And you're like, I know, but you're going to do something. And then lo and behold, this podcast kind of manifested itself. And it was, I was like, the first thing I thought of was the reading. I was like, oh my God, she called it. So it was very, very
That's
cool.
amazing.
You had mentioned skeptics, or Megan had previously. You know, do you have something that you say to people that are skeptic of what you do?
I do. I think it's healthy to be skeptical of psychics and mediums and folks because you want to make sure you talk to someone that really has a strong connection to the other side. So I think it's healthy to be skeptical, but the most important thing is to have an open mind, and let's see if we have a good connection. And if we do, then you can take that information and do what you want with it. I think what scares people is the fact that, you know, someone makes a prediction and they think, oh, that's 100% going to happen and it's written in stone, and oh my goodness, I don't know if I want that to happen. But we are the masters of our own destiny. The information comes to me, I give it to you, and then you do what you will with it. So, like, you know, Megan, just to kind of talk about what you mentioned with the podcast, if you decided this podcast manifested, you're like, you know what, that's not the direction I want to go in, then you could have said no, but obviously it's a great podcast, and I don't blame you for jumping on board. But that's the thing. The information I give is what I see, and it's a direction, and you can take it or not. And I think that helps a lot of people embrace the idea of a psychic reading. And plus, you know, you have to be accurate. So you have to pick on people, and that helps too. That helps get the skeptics to become believers.
Yeah.
How do you approach things differently, you know, in your whole like metaphysical study and how you read people?
Well, I call myself the practical spiritual teacher because I think that for me, I love living in that spiritual world, and I love talking to the spirits, but I also have to, you know, pay my bills and drive my car and
Right.
be out in the mall and around people. So I like to have my foot in both worlds. And I think that does make me different than some other people because some other people get very caught up in one side or another. And I think you have to be in between the worlds, really, to be a good psychic and medium. You have to be able to step into that space and talk to spirits, but you also have to be able to talk to humans. I mean, you have to live your life. It's important to have balance. I think for anything that you do, it's important to have balance. So for me, that's how I approach it is, you know, how do I make sure that I can still do the things that I like to do and be a human being, but also make sure that I can grab the hand of the other side and hold it. So that's a little bit different than I find for some of my friends or some people that do this type of work.
Yeah.
How do you, like, when you're connecting with somebody, you know, as a medium, how do you turn it on or turn it off? Like, could you be just in a random place, like, say, in the mall walking around and a spirit approaches you?
Yeah, for the most part, I asked the spirits to let me just kind of go about my day, but I was at a restaurant one day with a friend of mine. We were having dinner, and the waitress came over, and very clearly behind her, I saw her grandmother, and her grandmother said, "You have to tell her I'm here. I need to talk to her."
Oh, I just got chills.
Me too.
So
Wow.
she, she took our order. She left. I said to my friends, "She's got a grandmother with her. I got to tell her it's important." And my friend said, "Oh, really? Okay, fine." She's like, "Oh." So she came back over, and I said, "Your grandmother passed away, right?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, listen, I'm a psychic medium. I'm not trying to freak you out." I said, and then I heard her grandmother say, "I'm worried about her because her boyfriend's in jail and he's coming out."
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And I said, "Your boyfriend's in jail?" She said, and her eyes got really big. She said, "Yeah." And I said, "He's coming out soon, right?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm going to wait on you." She goes, "And when you're all done, I need to sit down and talk to you. I have to, but I want to wait on you first." So we had our dinner, and she came back over, and she had a very volatile situation happening with this boyfriend. He was an ex-boyfriend. It was on and off, and so her grandmother was giving her advice, and she was bawling at the table. And my poor friend who's sitting next to me is saying, "Really, please, could you wrap this up, because this is too intense." It was very intense.
Your friend just wanted lunch.
But her grandmother had to tell her like the direction she needed to take, because she was going to go down a different road, and I don't think it would have went well for her if she had. So
Gosh.
I have chills.
I'm having chills, Mary, because I feel like this is similar to what the reading you just gave me. So that's really hits home.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I feel like listening to your story, all of our eyes just grew 3 sizes.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
I mean,
I'm just in shock.
I think like we're all 3 of us are in the same sort of like sound mind likeness, that we believe in the spirits and connecting with that world and what you do and all of the good that you do. I wanted to know if you have a different approach to doing remote readings as opposed to in-person readings.
Well, reading to me is reading the energy of the person and the spirits that are trying to bring through the information. So it's not much different for me. I just tune into the person and ask the spirits to bring forth what's most important at that time. So whether you're sitting in front of me, whether you're on the phone, whether I talk to you on Skype or WhatsApp, it doesn't matter. It's energy can fly through the universe. It doesn't matter if we're 100 miles away, right across from each other. So I'm just tuning in strictly to that energy so that it can be pure, and I'm not trying to necessarily read the person. I'm reading the energy that's really important at that time. So it's whatever needs to be communicated. And that's why sometimes with mediumship, you're going to look for somebody like, "Oh, my friend passed away. I want my friend to come through." But your grandmother shows up first, because that information that she has is what's most important at that time. So
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's what you need at that moment. And I think the spirit world wants to make sure that you get everything that you need, because we have decisions to make. So the more information and the clearer the information, the better.
What do you feel is the most rewarding part of your job?
Oh gosh. There's so many things. That's why I'm like, from the mediumship perspective, connecting to the dead, I think that is so rewarding, because it gives a person a moment to reconnect with someone they've lost.
Yeah.
And to me, that just, the connections when people are crying and having that moment with that person is just there's so much love there. And I think that part is really rewarding. And then from the psychic side, I think helping people find their way. I mean, I consider that such an honor to give people information to say, this is what could happen and what could change your life. And to see people have breakthroughs and make different choices and believe in themselves, because the spirits are so pure and love you so much that they only come through with things that are just kind and pure and going to help develop you. So those things are what really warms my heart, why I continue to do it after all these years.
Yeah.
Mary, when you say spirits, because obviously you connect with those that have passed or crossed over, but then also do you have like guardians, I guess, that kind of direct you, or is that a thing?
Yeah, so I could be talking to a whole host of different spirits. Some of them are your spirit team. So everybody has a spirit team, guardian angels, spirit guides, if you want to call them.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So are those people that we know that have passed, or are they like literally guardian angels, like that were assigned to us by
God
or
God
whoever. Or higher power?
That's their job. That's their job. Yeah.
Yes to all the above. So your grandmother could be your guardian, or it could be somebody like at that moment you need, say, Saint Michael or Archangel Michael, depending on if you're you believe in saints or you believe in archangels that is working with you, or it could be a different guy that's just because you are a Reiki master. It could be someone that was a Reiki master in a previous life. I mean, it depends on the person.
Okay.
And what you need and what you need to develop at that time.
I see. Wow, interesting. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
What do you feel about I mean, obviously, if people haven't had a psychic reading, they've probably seen Teresa Caputo or Tyler Henry's like my new favorite, like go-to. I watch it every Wednesday on E! But what do you, I mean, is Tyler like real to you, or like when you watch these shows, are you like, okay, this is like not legit, or like, I don't know, what are your feeling towards it?
Yeah, no, I think they're legitimate mediums and psychics. I absolutely do. I also think that they're edited. So what you're not seeing is, when they're trying to connect or they have a link that isn't strong, you don't get to see that. So when you go to a medium that's having a problem with seeing there's two people coming in and which one's talking first, and you're starting to cross link, which is you get some information from one person and some from another, and they cross link. You're not seeing that. So I think they're absolutely legit, and I think they're very, very talented. But I also think you don't see the stumbles. So
of course.
That's okay too. Yeah, that's okay too. But yeah, they're excellent. They're great. The folks that are on TV are all great.
How, I always find it interesting. You are very multifaceted, and you have so many hands in your business and everything. So how did you start your business sort of from the ground up, the driving force to do that?
Ever since I've been small, there's always been this idea of trying to help people, help animals, help people feel better. And so it's really funny because, when I went to college, I graduated, I went right into the corporate world and worked a corporate job. But I always used to do this work on the side and on weekends. It's, nights and weekends, which is funny. But I had the driving force to get out of the corporate world and try to help people. And the more readings I did, the more Reiki sessions I did, and seeing people, break through, I think that it finally was to me like, all right, the corporate world's great, and I don't want to knock it, but it's not the place for me. Right. Plus, I have purple hair. Doesn't always go with
Oh my God, I love that. I love that.
So that was why I wanted to create my business, is to be able to have a place that people could come and say, and lay their stuff on the table, and be able to speak in a way. They didn't have to have the mask on from the corporate world. They could just lay it all out on the table and we could figure it out together. And I want people to be empowered. And that's really what drove me, was there's not enough empowerment. I think people are, they don't feel as strong as they could. So let's find ways to get them stronger. And that's what really drove my business.
That's fantastic.
So I want to know what the craziest experience you've had while connecting with someone as a medium.
So I think there's been a lot, but the one that really kind of got me into mediumship, because I didn't know I was a medium. I was a psychic for years and working in stores, working on my own. And a woman came in and she said, I'm here for reading. I said, great. And all of a sudden I heard somebody say, tell her I'm here. And I looked out, I looked around my table. There was nobody around me, and I ignored it. And I heard again, tell her I'm here.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
Oh my gosh.
So, I said, all right, this has got to be a spirit. So I said to the spirit in my head, well, who are you? And she's shuffling the cards and she's picking out her cards. We're about to go into a psychic reading. And he said, my name's Michael, and you better tell her I'm here or you're not going any further because I'm going to yell in your ear. And I said, okay. So I said, I know this is going to sound really strange. I said, I don't know, but your husband? I said, Michael. I said, passed away. And she looked at me and her eyes got really big and she burst into tears. And I said, oh, okay, all right. So I'm sorry, And he said, tell her I'm here about our son. And I said, he wants to talk to you about your son. And she said, that's why I'm here. And she started to cry more. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but he said, I'm just going to talk and you just tell her what I'm saying. So he would say something, I would tell her, she would say something, he'd respond, and that went on for the reading. And,
oh my gosh.
And she left. Yeah, she left. I hugged her goodbye, and I'm kind of shaking. And a few minutes later, a person I worked with at the same store came in. She was strictly a medium. That's all she did. And I said to her, hey, this happened. And she said, oh, honey, you're a medium. That's fine. I'm going to introduce you to my teacher. You're going to talk to the dead now. And I said, no, I'm not. She said, yeah, you are. And Yeah, so they basically chose me.
That's
But
oh wow.
yeah, I've been very, very lucky to talk. There's some really beautiful dead people out there. There really is.
Whew.
Oh my gosh. Mary, you
I
are
have
just
chills.
amazing.
I need to get a reading.
Yeah, you guys need to get a reading.
No, I need
great.
to. Absolutely.
I've had like 2 or 3. And yeah, and you're phenomenal. And it's yes.
So, Mary, where can everybody find you and schedule a reading with you or anything else?
Sure. So people can go to my website. It's www.spiritualitygirl.com. They can also email me at mary@spiritualitygirl.com if they have questions, if they want to schedule a reading. All my services are on my website, and I'd be happy to be in service to folks.
We love it. Mary, thank you so much. And I'm just grateful for your friendship, too. And I will talk to you soon. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, ladies.
Of
Bye,
course.
everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Boss Please Pod. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on iTunes. Navigate the path to your best self with us because bossing together is always better.